You're watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ken Bufa. Only in Newsday, a school bus monitor is accused of hitting a student with Down syndrome. 92-year-old Luis Cadet pleaded not guilty to several charges, including endangering the welfare of a child. The incident was caught on surveillance video. The Hicksville man was employed as a one-on-one aide for the 13-year-old.
Apparently, a complaint was made by a parent of a child that he touched him improperly. Mr. Cadet denies that that happened.
Now, the Hicksville school superintendent says in part, since this incident was reported, we have maintained ongoing communication with the affected students, families, and provided mental health counseling and support. And a motorcyclist was killed in a crash on the Southern State Parkway. Police say the rider was trying to exit the parkway at exit 43. It happened after 2 o'clock this afternoon. And 30 cats were found abandoned near the Southern State Parkway. 2 teenagers found the cats caged in the woods off the Bethpage Bikeway. Rescuers say there were adult cats and kittens, some just a few weeks old.
I have been told, and I have seen a video where there was no food or water in the cages. There may have been some food around this site, but not in the cages where the cats were kept, and they could not get in or out of those cages.
Officials say the cats will be put up for adoption after the investigation, since they are currently being used as evidence. And first in Newsday, Sunrise Mall is going to be demolished. The owner is looking for county approval to subdivide the property. Now, the plans show Sunrise Mall Holdings is looking to split the 77-acre property up into 4. A hearing on the request will be held tomorrow. The last store standing is Dick's Sporting Goods. All right, let's take a quick look at the weather. It was a gorgeous one today, and it's going to be another great one tomorrow with temps in the 60s and cloud cover overhead. Now, we will have that 7-day forecast later in the broadcast. Our year-long dangerous roads investigation continues today. We're focused on the impact drivers with suspended licenses or no licenses are having on the island. Sherry Einhorn takes a look at what's being done.
I will see my daughter again, and that's what gets me up in the morning, to go to work, to carry on. And I wait for that day.
I remember seeing her be put on the stretcher, and I asked one of the EMTs, I was like, tell me and be honest, is my sister going to die? And she looked at me and she didn't even know what to say. I said, it's okay, I already know.
One Long Island family torn apart by a devastating crash in Medford in 2008.
I remember approaching that intersection, and out of the corner of my eye, that last second, I saw a black vehicle in my peripheral, but it was so quick. All I had time to do was gasp, and it was...
14-year-old Angelica Nappi died a few days later, and several others were injured.
And then there was the impact, and I had the chills talking about it.
The driver of the car that crashed into the teens, Stephen Catalano, was convicted of reckless driving. He also had 7 license suspensions. According to records from the State Department of Motor Vehicles, there are at least 50,000 drivers on Long Island who have a suspended or revoked license or no license.
It's a gamble. When you get in that car, you are taking your life in your own hands.
According to a traffic safety researcher who spoke with Newsday, unlicensed drivers are 4 times more likely to cause a fatal crash.
Losing one life on the roadways is one life too many, and every time I see it happen, it breaks my heart.
Joshua Pena, who was convicted in the accident that killed his half-brother Xavier, had no license, according to DMV records.
He's my only child, and now I have to visit him in the cemetery. This is just unfair.
Carrie Bedrick, the mother who drove the wrong way on the Southern State last year, causing a crash that killed her 9-year-old son Eli, had 56 license suspensions.
It's sickening to me to hear that many suspensions that people have.
So how do people end up with so many suspensions? We asked traffic and criminal defense attorney Daniel Friedman. He says there are multiple reasons: a drunk or drugged driving conviction, failing to pay taxes or child support, getting a ticket and not taking care of it, getting too many tickets or too many points, and not having insurance.
The goal of traffic safety is not for us to write tickets or make arrests. It's for us to get people to voluntarily comply to laws. It's everybody's job. It's not just the police department's job. When it gets to the point where we're involved, something's already gone wrong.
Automatically being suspended doesn't mean you're going to be a bad driver and therefore have an accident. People have to work. They have to worry about their lives. They have to take care of their bills and their family and their children, and they just assume that this is not an issue. Now, this is not defending everybody.
And while he admits there may be drivers who just don't care about having multiple suspensions and driving anyway, he says there are other drivers who simply don't know how to clear them all up.
I think the system needs to be made easier for people to address tickets.
There's no right to drive. If you're driving in New York State, you are doing so as a privilege.
Maureen McCormick has spent decades working as a vehicular crimes prosecutor. She's now a special assistant district attorney in the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office.
Make no mistake about this. I am terrified for the people of Long Island in general and in New York State, because sometimes you see too much. And it's been a very long time speaking to a very large number of families who could easily be my family.
Back in 2008, it was the Nappy family. Devastated by the death of her daughter, Mom Dawn says she had no choice but to try and channel her grief by making a promise to Angelica.
I just held true to that promise that I made to my daughter, and I was on a mission. And I didn't realize that the mission would take me out 16 years.
Her mission was fighting for stronger penalties for unlicensed drivers. Angelica's law was passed last November. It lowered the number of suspensions before a driver can be charged with a felony from 10 on 10 different dates to 5 on 5 separate dates. There could also be a fine and a prison term if the driver is convicted.
I'm happy, but I'm also disappointed in the sense that 10 suspensions brought down to 5 is still what I consider a slap on the wrist consequence. Because anybody that buries a child is facing a lifetime sentence.
For Newsday TV, I'm Shari Einhorn.
Now, to read more about our dangerous roads investigation, go to Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
Here at Madison Square Garden, where the Knicks squandered a chance Tuesday night to close out a series on their home court for the first time since 1999. The biggest issue here was not just the home court, not the chance to celebrate, but you want to get out of this series, head to the Boston series as healthy and rested as you can. Well, Boston moves on. The Knicks head back to Detroit, where they'll play Game 6 Thursday night. And they have to worry about injuries because Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, both went Hart to the locker room, Brunson to the bench in the final minutes. And maybe the most frustrating part wasn't just the pain, but they tried to get back in the game with about a minute and a half left and were stuck at the scorer's table, unable to get in. Tom Thibodeau didn't want to use the final timeout, so they were stuck there waiting until it was 27 seconds left. A tie game had gone to a 6-point hole. They couldn't get back. They never had a chance to get the game-tying shot.
We put ourselves in a deficit early. All series, we've been fighting back, and I'm not sure right now. I know I got to watch tape, but I think for us, we just got to do a better job of executing at a higher level, stay disciplined with the ball, prize the basketball a little better.
They lose 106-103, and now basically they're fighting for their lives in Detroit, where it's going to be crazy here on Thursday night, hoping to avoid a Game 7 back at Madison Square Garden. This is Steve Popper for Newsday TV.
Today we are turning up the heat with hot yoga. Here at Just Breathe in Sayville, you'll learn the art of yoga. In this case, hot yoga, in a studio hovering around 105 degrees.
The heat really promotes people to decompress and open up their bodies quicker.
That heat and the practice provides benefits for both your physical and mental well-being.
Hot yoga is really good for detoxifying, flexibility. It's really amazing for central nervous reset. It's good for anxiety, depression.
Along with the full body workout improving your overall fitness, they say hot yoga also helps heal and is great for people of all abilities in every stage of life.
We have the whole range. We have people that are rehabbing knee replacements, shoulder replacements, people that have endocrine issues going on. We have people who, right now we have an 8-month pregnant woman who's been practicing on a daily basis.
And they say even the skeptics who lean in and give it a try become believers.
Usually the people that come with the most resistance come every day after that point.
And once you're in, the connections you make will keep you coming back.
The yoga is the yoga. We all do it. We all love it. But it's the people that it attracts and the force of humanity that is around us here is unbelievable.
Reporting for Newsday TV, I'm Macy Eklund.
3.
All right, let's take a closer look at your 7-day forecast, shall we, to see if rain is still coming this weekend. Like I said, tomorrow is going to be a great day, temps in the 60s with some cloud cover. Friday, we're going to get a little warmer with temps near 70s. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're exercising our rain graphics here because it looks like the rain is here to stay for a while.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Fire Island Ferries.
You're watching Newsday TV. For more on all the stories you've seen here today, head over to newsday.com. I'm Ken Bufa. Thank you so much for joining us.